Today is one of the special days because today we are going to start packing some of our gear to go on a trip. This is going to be a series that we do not just now but later on in the year, just to kind of show the multiple ways that we do pack for trips, whether it be or for flying, taking the car, taking the motorcycle, and all of that good stuff. Now, any of the brands that you see in this video we are not sponsored by any means. We just have found that these brands have worked for us over the years. We've tried many brands over the last 6 years in some of this camping gear that we have used, and this happens to be some of the stuff that we absolutely love. Now, if you've watched some of my previous videos from the camera bag alternatives, you'll see some old favorites, just because that we use them for camping as well as I use them for my camera gear as well. So, without further ado, if you've been following me for some time, you know about the video I did on Glacier National Park. Now, if you haven't, I will put a link somewhere for that video so you can go and watch it. Now, in that video was our hike to Snyder Lake. This was back last June, and I wore these boots. They are the Merrell Moabs. They were waterproof, and I say were because on that trail, it was a lot of snow runoff that was going down the trail, and so it was a very wet trail, and these Moabs decided to fail in the waterproofing at the same time, causing my feet to be sopping wet by the end of it. And if you know about that trip, if you've heard about me talk about it, it was very, very rainy. So we sat these out at the tent where we were camping, but they were a lost cause. I'm actually going to be throwing these out, but I forgot that I even had these in here, so I thought I got rid of them. And I forgot about these darn tough socks that I had wore that day. So I probably should wash these before we decide to go on our next adventure. I sat down my remote for the GoPro, and now I don't know where I put it. Oh, gosh. And so while we're going through this camping gear, we're actually doing the process of elimination as to what we need, what we don't need for this trip. It's going to be a warmer climate, but we also have to take into consideration maybe we'll stop at a campground somewhere up a little more towards our way. Now, we always pack our stuff in a plano. If you can see, if you followed my other video, camera bag alternatives, you will kind of see a little bit of a, a little bit of a repeat as to some of the brands that we use all across the board. We love Plano. We have seen it time and time again to be the best in some of our hard containers, as you will. Now, I don't know if this is fully waterproof, but it's been great to keep all of our stuff in one spot in the car in this Plano container. We used to have a different container. I don't know what happened to it, so then we ended up with this one. And we have a smaller one where we keep some of our freeze-dried meals. Now, we do carry a lot of freeze-dried meals when we are going out, just because we do go to a lot of places that are very remote, and we don't have the accessibility of restaurants, or maybe we didn't stop at a market or something like that. And so, usually we rely on those for the most part. Sometimes we'll get hot dogs or eggs or hamburger, just to kind of spice it up a little bit here and there. Now, I don't know where to start with this at all. So both of our sleeping bags aren't in here. John has a down sleeping bag that he uses. Mine is a Marmot. It is the NanoWave 45. We both got these on discount just because they were cheap But these have been like our go-to sleeping bags, and eventually you will see this out. I'm not getting it out today. Sleeping bags have been our main thing. If we are in colder climates, since I do have them in here, from our last trip, we carry our Sea to Summit bag liners. These are nice to kind of add a little bit more, since this is a 45-degree bag. You sometimes need a little bit more insulation if you are having to be in a cooler climate and you might not be prepared. So we always carry something like that, because we have had so many times and so many run-ins where we go someplace that might end up being colder than what we think. And we've figured stuff out from time to time since then as to how to cope with that if we don't have a bag liner, but we finally jumped the gun after our Michigan trip that ended up being super cold, and we bought a really nice pack liner. Now, as you can tell, another thing, Sea to Summit is a big brand of ours, not just in the dry bags, but in these, and also in our towels that we take with us. Now, you have to remember that we have gone motorcycle camping with a lot of our gear. We have flown with a lot of our gear. We make sure a lot of our gear is very compactable, hence why these are so small and why this seems to be a little more compact than some of your like Coleman sleeping bags or some of that to that effect. Now, I know we could get smaller in the sleeping bag department, but this has been great for what we had bought it for, and for being as cheap as we got it for, it has been fantastic. I just got a down bag that I got for cheap. It's a Kelty. Eventually you'll see that when we go on a trip that we're going to be going to a cooler climate, and we might be running into a little bit cooler weather. I also have a washcloth in this as well. My kit has the washcloth and the towel, and my partner's kit just has the towel, which I don't see in here. It must be in the camper still. And that's another thing with doing this. I'm gonna kind of maybe do a full-on show you all of our camping gear as I go. Like I said, this is more of a series. I'm just kind of showing you the process as to what we do when we go on a trip. And this is the process. Sometimes our camping gear now sometimes is maybe spread out to the camper or to the Plano or in the closet somewhere where we had to pack it away because we didn't need it for that specific trip. We also have Thermarest sleeping pads that we sometimes take with us. That happened to be something we took with us in June, but not necessarily when we go to the Smokies. June, it was going to be cooler climate. We went to Glacier. It was 30s. It actually snowed while we were at Glacier. So we really were thankful to have those Thermarest sleeping pads when we went out there. Now, if we don't need the Thermarest, we don't need that extra insulation in our sleeping pad, we have our climate pads. Now, these actually fold down fairly small, but then again, I don't see the bags for them right now. So that's just one of those things that when we do go camping, sometimes stuff gets set out. Especially that June trip, we just kind of folded everything into the Plano as we kept going from place to place. And that's what I'm looking at right now. Now, when we went on our trip last fall, we took the camper. We didn't have to take all of this stuff. So all this stuff didn't get organized very well. I also have an example of some of the dry bags that we use other than Sea to Summit. This is the Outdoor Products dry bag that you can get at Walmart for cheap. We actually use this to put dirty clothes in or wash clothes if we don't have a laundromat or some sort of laundromat around us and we are going on a bigger trip. It has been handy, like I said, to shove stuff in. We have another one that's cleaner that we use sometimes for our freeze-dried meals if we want to stuff them in. This one's the specific one for dirty clothes though. we sometimes take bags of coffee. We sometimes, you know, we take our medical kit with us. It's just a lot of stuff in here that I didn't know was in here. And when we go places that might not have a shower, because in the Great Smoky National Park, there's only one campground we've stayed at that do have showers. A lot of them don't. We take some sort of bath wipes. These are handy for when you are going someplace that may not have showers close to you, and this is very convenient. Now my toiletry bag must be in the camper, and I know we definitely didn't use this since June because we also have the bear spray in here still. This is also pretty cool. Oh yeah, we bought this shower kit from Walmart not that long ago because it was discounted. We always take paracord with us. Paracord's great for using to, you know, hang up your towels or to tie something together or whatnot. Somehow the mosquito net ended up in here. If you hear motorcycles in the background, that's actually one of our projects that we've been working on. And later on, I think in the year, you will hear more of a video about some of our motorcycle projects / motorcycle adventures that we've already had, and kind of some of what we're doing with some of that as well. There's a toothpaste in here. Another brand that we've kind of repeated is our Matador brand. This is actually their compactable blankets. This has been nice for something that if we just want to throw it in a backpack or something, extra blanket, we have it. Our Rumple cases are in here. I've got some of our freeze-dried meals. I've been trying Trailtopia. Now, we're very big on, if I can find them, we've always been super big on the Mountain House ones, and we've just started getting really big into the Backpacker's Pantry. We've also done Alpine Air. We've tried a little bit of the Patagonia Provisions stuff, as far as like the salmon fillets and some of the jerky and stuff that they sell. Now, our favorites would be the Mountain House and the Backpacker's Pantry. We used to get Alpine Air by the boxes. We can't find the boxes anymore, and I mean, this has been great for just a change up. Like I said, our freeze-dried meals are great for when we are out in remote areas. We sometimes go on really long hikes. That is an all-day hike, and we will take lunch with us, which is one of our freeze-dried meals, and we'll take one of our burners with us, which I don't see the Pocket Rocket. That must be another thing that's in the camper right now. We take the MSR Pocket Rocket, and we'd also take a small can of fuel that we have for the Pocket Rocket, just specifically to take with us on hikes. I also have a crap ton of the TP kits. If you've seen a couple of my other videos, these are handy for when you are out in the wilderness and you need to go real quick. Now, like I said, this is a pack-out bag, and never leave... He just got the exhaust done on his motorcycle. He's excited. Never leave anything behind. I think the worst we have seen where people just left toilet paper everywhere was on the Appalachian Trail, the Annapolis Rock portion. You go on part of that portion of the AT, and it's just, there's so much toilet paper sitting in the forest because people just don't understand that concept. We also take an Echo candle, which I have the small version. Oh, hey, look. Found the Climate bag. This is actually how compact the Climate sleeping pads actually get. So this was what I showed you. This is how compact they get. It's been really nice. We've had other pads in the past. Thermarest has been one of our pads that we've mainly used. We bought a Cabela's double pad because it worked for our tent, but it sprung a leak in Grand Canyon, and we had used it for motorcycle riding that year. We flew with it to the Grand Canyon and Zion, sprung a leak in the Grand Canyon. We thought we fixed it, and then we went to Zion. It was 13 degrees that morning, and we were on the ground. So, needless to say, I happily threw that in the dumpster, and that was that. Now, we always take an UCO candle lantern for the tent, and I'll post like a little video as to how we do it. We hang it in the tent. Now, if you're doing something like that, make sure there's nothing to catch on fire when you are hanging any sort of flammable thing like that, any sort of fire like that. We always carry a little bit of matches just in case we can't find a lighter, and we carry a few UCO candles. Now, we use the UCO candle lantern to wick away moisture in the tent. It's been fantastic for that. We always go to REI and we say something about it if we get the UCO lantern candles, or if we get an extra UCO lantern for somebody. We always talk about how, you know, how we use it, and people kind of look at us weird, like, I never thought that was a thing. So we have always loved our UCO candle. We just bought the baby version of the UCO candle lantern. We have the adult version of that we've carried for eons, and it has been super fantastic. We're not damp in the morning when we use it, and it's been great. Like I said, if you're using something like that, be aware that it is in there. We are always aware that our UCO candle is in our tent when we are asleep, and we are making sure that it's not anywhere near something that's going to catch on fire. You don't want your tent on fire. Sometimes we take our Coleman burner. We'll probably take it on this trip. I found some huckleberry jam that we must have taken with us. Yeah, it was Glacier. Ha! I wonder if he knows we have this. It's still good. We were obsessed with huckleberry when we went out there. That was the biggest thing out in Glacier National Park, was huckleberry. I was getting huckleberry milkshakes like every day. It was amazing. So we always take that. We take our MSR Pocket Rocket. As I said, we'll probably do a better video once I get all of our stuff congregated into one spot. We don't know sometimes where everything is. Sometimes it's in the camper, sometimes it's somewhere else. And it's like a lot of this stuff, I mean, our toiletry bags in the camper. Another Matador product would be the soap bar case. I actually bought one for my partner's soap bar that we take with us in the toiletry bag a while back, and I actually really liked it, so I just bought one for myself for this year, so I'm not having to pack a whole bunch of stuff liquid wise. And I think that's it. I think that's all I got today, besides other things. So this is kind of just a glimpse of what we take with us camping. I will do a much better video once we get everything around. I just kind of want to take you through the process of how we go about it. This is usually how, you know, the first step of what we do is we try and figure out where everything's at, especially depending on what trip we have taken, what we need, where the bags are for everything, you know, stuff like that. I still didn't see the other climate bag. I did find some more paracord, so that's always good. But this is just the process that we go through, and I want to kind of be I don't want to say raw, but kind of a little more honest with some of these videos, just so you can see kind of the behind the scenes as to how, you know, how we pack, not the beautiful, perfect, oh, here's everything in our setup and this is what we take, but in fact show you that, you know, sometimes things are a little messy and sometimes we have to go through all of our stuff. Now I will be taking a video of some of my stuff that I pack for our trip, clothes wise, gear wise, show you my camera gear, how I pack all of that, even though I have just done the camera bag alternative video. I still want to show how everything gets packed into one bag for a trip. I will also be doing a video on how we pack the car. Now this video is going to be a little interesting because we're packing not only our usual camping stuff and our usual hiking stuff, but we're also packing 2 foldable kayaks and 2 foldable bikes possibly in this car. Now, if you have seen my car, it is a 2008 Toyota Yaris. I will post a couple pictures in this video as to what it looks like, and be doing a little more videos on how to kind of comfortably pack a smaller car, smaller vehicle like that. We have hauled 3 people in the Yaris with camping gear. It was a little tight, but we made it work. We did it. So, and actually this was a mug from that trip. This was from Munising, Michigan, at the Gallery Coffee Company. It was so cool there. They had all kinds of pictures hung up from different photographers, and it was fascinating to see. So until next time, we will have a little bit better camping gear video next time around for you. But at the same time, enjoy the process of the chaos of trying to find camping gear and the menagerie of seeing what ended up not going back in the bag the last time we had everything out. Until next time, guys. Before I forget, don't forget to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. I've got so much more going on, especially some packing gear videos, as well as some more hiking montage, some travel videos that will be coming up, and everything else in between. So until next time.